everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Honestly Bilal. I'm your host, Bilal Ahmed, and I'm a fourth-year medical student at the University of Toledo. And this is my show, Honestly Bilal, the show for the aspiring ophthalmologist, where I sit down and talk with medical students who are interested in ophthalmology, with residents who are training in ophthalmology, and with current ophthalmologists in the field today. My guest today is Dr. William Park. Dr. Park is the Residency Program Director at Loyola University in ophthalmology. Dr. Park, thank you so much for joining me, and it's a great talking with you.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you for asking me.
Yeah, so, I like to ask all my guests, their origin story, what got them into ophthalmology. So what kind of drew you to the field, and where's your origin story?
Sure. So for ophthalmology, for me personally, it started back in high school. Had a family friend who was an ophthalmologist, and among my friends who are even considering any other medical field, I was the only one that had some sort of inkling to the surgical area. And he quickly got his claws into me at that time and influenced me from that point forward. And it was something I just stuck with. And I did some gross anatomy, did some research in medical school, and the affinity for ophthalmology just grew and grew. So it just turned out to be a lucky find for me.
Awesome. So then, lifelong passion starts early, and that's where you are today. Sounds great.
Absolutely.
So, talking about that, I know you trained at Loyola, you did your residency there. Now you're as program director. What are some things about the program from your training days to now being faculty, now being the program director? What are some things about the program that you've always been, inspired by? What have you always enjoyed about Loyola? And what are some exciting things that are going on at Loyola that you would like applicants to know?
Sure. Well, you hit the nail on the head that I am an alumnus of the program, and we have multiple alumni who have come back to be faculty members. And I think that speaks highly for the department and the program. There's a lot of loyalty and support because we see value in the experiences we had there. To that end, we've recently hired new faculty such as retina, glaucoma, cornea, and comprehensive. And they're from different stages in their career. So we have different varieties of educational and training methodologies that were given to the residents. And I think that's going to just much more enrich the program. Other exciting things is we have this global health elective that the Loyola University is offering. And so it really supports what the department has been doing. We have faculty and alumni who make multiple annual trips to global health missions, and we really support with our residents, and they're very excited to go on those. Even in Guatemala, we recently helped establish an ophthalmology hospital with one of our alumni down there. So that's very active and a big part of our program. But probably one of the most biggest things that the residents are finding more so is that the first year residents are going down to the OR to be incorporated in the early surgical training. We even had some of our PGA1s come down to the OR with us as well. And we've learned that the early and greater experience that they have, the more comfortable they are, the more well-rounded they are, and the more motivated they are to get training, whether it be in our simulation systems, hands-on in wet labs, or just talking with the other residents and faculty. So some exciting times for us.
Awesome. Yeah. And I think, I was telling you before we got on here a little bit, one of the alumni from my medical school, Christopher Johnson, he was a graduate from Loyola, and I actually shot him an email about, February. So I was applying for away rotations, and I was interested in Loyola because we had somebody who graduated and went there. And, he told me amazing things about the program, high surgical numbers, good volume of experiences. I looked up more about Dr. Bouchard, learned that he's very involved with global health as the chair of the department. So I think there's a lot of those tie-ins that would make it a great program for anybody who would, and not to mention it's also in, close to Chicago. So great city there as well.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, there you go. So, talking about that then, as residency program director, what are you looking for in applicants, and what kind of person makes a good fit for the program at Loyola?
Sure. Well, truly, a lot of programs, as are us, looking for well-rounded, intelligent, coachable people. But in my opinion, the main key factor is your attitude. If you're humble, you're eager, you're generous, you're compassionate, you'll be a fantastic ophthalmologist. A lot of the hands-on, the clinical skills, that will be training that you'll get. A lot of the medical knowledge, that will be education you'll receive during your residency. But if you come in with a great attitude, that's the kind of person that we feel will be a good fit, and I think they'll generate the good reputation out there once they leave our program. So we're hoping to find a good match for residents this coming year.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think I really like what you talked about being coachable as well. I think that's one thing. It's we may not all like getting criticism or feedback, but it's important for growth, and I think that's huge aspect that is part of training in medicine or any field. So I think that's going to make something that should be good for the future.
Absolutely. And what's key to that too is actually what a lot of faculty don't really outwardly say is that the faculty are coachable. And we take a lot of feedback from the residents. We drive a lot of educational curriculum from resident feedback. And personally, when I'm in the operating room with the residents, I ask them, how's my teaching style with you? Because we understand that the new generations or the different types of students learn differently. So we ourselves are adaptable to their methodologies, their way of learning, their way of communicating. So it becomes a very productive environment. So it's not just the residents who are coachable, but also faculty members are too.
There you go. There's that reverse mentorship. I think that really speaks to the culture of the program, which from a national level, people know that the culture at Loyola is very much a place where it's a comfortable environment where people learn and feel safe. And
Yeah, absolutely.
there you go. So, Dr. Park, don't want to take too much of your time. I really appreciate you being on the show today, and hopefully people get a lot of information about Loyola. I know the Loyola has the Instagram page, so I will put that in the description of this episode as well. And the website as well has a lot of great information about the joint internship, and all those other bits of information out there that people can learn more about Loyola from those avenues. So, Dr. Park, I really thank you for joining me today. Special shout out to Dr. Jennifer Lindsay at Vanderbilt for connecting us and
absolutely
how things grow. So I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Thank you. It was an honor. I appreciate you calling me on this one.
Alrighty, take care. Bye-bye.